Welcome to NBA G League Ignite Takeover. I'm Mike Davis, and that's Gianna Hearn.
Coming up, we're breaking down all the first week action from Ignite. We got highlights and an analysis on the opening 3 games, plus insight from NBA veteran CJ Watson. Also hearing from Coach Jason Hart. But first, it's time to shock the court.
Yes, okay, Gianna. So let's start here. I mean, this Ignite team is off to kind of a rocky start at 0-3, but there's a lot to be charged up and excited about. This past weekend, the team fell to the Ontario Clippers in back-to-back games. Then on Monday, they had a tough loss as they faced off against Salt Lake City. But let's start with the good right now. So, Gianna, what have you liked from what you've seen from this Ignite team?
You know, I know a lot of fans may be panicking here. I'm not panicking because there are a lot of good things to start out with Ignite. For one, if you looked at each game, they made a run. They made a push. In the first game, they got within 1 point. In the second game, they went on a 20-3 run. So what we're seeing from the young guys is they do have some fight in them. They also have some veterans that are playing right now, like in David Stockton. You see him get fouls early, but he's really that floor general right now, helping them push. So they have the fight there and the will, but they have some kinks they have to work out.
Yeah, he's definitely the motor and the engine of that team. And, you know, interestingly enough, I mean, you know, they had that fight in them for those first 2 games, but when you lose a game like the last one where they give up 55 points in the fourth quarter alone, how hard is it for a team to come back from that? And what's that internal strife going on when you give up 55 in 1 quarter?
You know, there's a lot of motivating to be done for these young guys, and that's the role of the veterans and Coach Jason Hart. He knows how to do that. You know, he's been back with this team. He's done it with them before. It's going to take a lot just to keep their spirits and their morale up, but if they can do that, they can come back home court on the 19th at the Dollar Loan Center and really not only shock themselves, shock the fans and say, guess what, we're Team Ignite. We're the top prospects. We have it, but you know, they're facing off against professionals that have played in the G League. Some have played in the NBA. And in that last loss against the Salt Lake City Stars, they're playing against 3 top picks. They're playing against a 2-way player. So they had almost a starting 5 of NBA talent that they were facing. And so when you have, you know, what would be the equivalent of 19-year-olds, college freshmen going up against NBA talent, you're going to see some of those cracks. But this is a developmental program, and right now they're facing some of those developmental struggles. Okay, well, it's a lot of good lessons early on for this young team. But one of the bright spots is definitely 19-year-old lefty big man Tyler Smith, who had a strong debut this past weekend with the Ignite. Now, coming off the bench, he loaded up the box score with 22 points, 3 boards, 3 blocks. Plus, he was 4 for 4 from behind the arc in Game 1 on Friday night. Then on Saturday, he added another team-high 16 points. And on Monday, facing off against Salt Lake City, he tallied 15 points, including 4 assists, 4 boards, and 4 blocks. He's second on the team in scoring right now behind John Jenkins. He's averaging 17.6 points per game. Big expectations for this prospect, who has officially made his grand entrance. Gianna, how impressive is it to see this 3-game stint from Tyler Smith? I know his shooting stroke is smooth. You know, you can be a good shooter in practice, but Tyler Smith is proving he's a good shooter in games. And not only is he making the baskets, but at an efficient rate. You talked about how he was from the field and from the 3-point line. If you can do that, you can carve yourself out a spot in the NBA if you're also a good defender. 3-and-D guys are what they're looking for. With someone like his length, yes, Tyler Smith could be a shoo-in if he can develop that defense a little bit more. But he was stellar. You know, in our preseason show, we didn't get to talk about him. Exactly. But he was my person to look out for the season, and he showed why in those first 2 games, even that 3rd game. Tyler Smith is someone to watch, one of these top prospects. Listen, everybody at home, I can attest to that. Gianna definitely did want to speak about this guy. That southpaw shooter, he's certainly sweet. Here's my sit-down conversation so we can learn a little bit more from Tyler Smith.
NBA G League Ignite, made up of young prospects and veteran pros. There's one of them, Tyler Smith.
You're one of these guys. You're another 5-star prospect, number 8 player ranked by ESPN in the 2023 high school class. Tell us, Ignite, how is the Ignite going to help you get to that next level, and why did you choose Ignite?
I chose Ignite just to develop as a basketball player. You know, it's people that played in the NBA and trying to get to the NBA that's here in this league right now. So I feel like playing against those guys and having the best on our team is just going to prepare me even better instead of having to transition once I get to the league.
Gets this man in the air, throws it up and throwing it down. Tyler Tyler Smith.
And you're one of these unique players at 6'10", you know, you're a forward or 4'5", but you got a wing skill set. So tell us a little bit about your development as a youngster. I mean, you know, you went to George Bush High School in Bend County in Texas, but growth spurt-wise, were you always big? Did you kind of have to have guard tendencies growing up? When did you get to that big 4'5" size?
I really always been taller than everybody, but it really didn't happen. Like, get real taller than everybody till like 9th grade. Brought up to like 6'8" from like 6'5".
Wow.
So yeah, that's when it got to that size for real.
And playing, you know, as a youngster and becoming a 5-star prospect. I mean, the pressure, there's a lot of pressure that people can't understand to, you know, be able to take that to the next level. How do you feel about your, you know, growth as a player, being a 5-star prospect, and where you want to, you know, set your sights and grow to eventually?
I want to grow to like a all-star NBA player, you know. The 5-star stuff's cool, but, you know, you see all the time 5 stars, some of them don't make it to the NBA, stuff like that, but I want to be one of the ones that do. So I feel like here is the right place to help me.
Too many red jerseys in there, but Smith gets it back and he yams it in.
Talk about this, because at 6'10", 4'5", you really are kind of a wing, so you can shoot, you can do a lot of those modern NBA types of things. Who do you emulate your game after? Who do you think your pro comp is most closely compared to?
People compare me mostly to Chris Bosh. I see some Carl Anthony Towns in me, stuff like that.
Yeah, and growing up, who did you love watching? Who did you always want to be
Growing
like?
up, I wanted to be just like Kevin Durant.
Really?
I have all the jerseys, everything. Favorite team, OKC, all that.
And what is it about him that you like so much?
It's just that he's 7 foot and real versatile. Could post up, make jumpers, all that.
Yeah. And at that next level, I mean, so next year, the NBA draft, I mean, you're prepared for 1 year here and then looking forward to the draft next year, right?
Yes.
And where do you see yourself in a year?
I see myself going high in the draft, you know, being in a good situation in the league, because I prepared myself here just to put me in that situation. So, yeah, an NBA.
Smith finds himself all alone in the corner for 3. Bang, bang. That's his spot right there.
He's a fine young man, and it's so cool because he's really like that perfect prototype for what the NBA is looking for. Plus, I'm super impressed whenever somebody can come off the bench and contribute right away. When you got to have that 6-man mentality, and you don't get to start on the floor at the beginning, but you got to bring that energy. It's not an easy thing to do.
He brings the energy in an offensive way, and if he can bring the energy and intensity on the defensive end, he's going to be a monster 6-man.
I love this guy. I'm excited to see what he accomplishes. Certainly a special player. But coming up, we're also talking to another special guy. He's a former NBA vet who played 10 years in the association. And guess what? He's Vegas born and raised.
We're talking with CJ Watson after the break. Stick around. Las Vegas is known as the entertainment capital of the world, but Sin City is quickly becoming a major sports town.
Yeah, it's undeniable. I mean, the Aces are back-to-back champs. The Golden Knights are reigning champions. Plus, with F1 and the Super Bowl looming, Vegas is officially the new sports capital of the world. And for a Vegas born and raised kid like CJ Watson, it's got to be a special thing to see unfold. We're joined now by the 10-year NBA veteran who's now calling Ignite games on the radio. Thanks for being here, man.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We love it. Let's start here. So, I mean, really, as a Vegas born and raised kid, to see the expansion of sports, specifically here in Vegas in the Henderson community with Ignite and basketball, how special has this been for you to watch unfold?
Personally, I'm a little jealous because I don't get to play for my home team, maybe in the G League Ignite or even an NBA franchise, but it's definitely fun to see. Growing up, they said we would never have sports here in Vegas, and now look at it now. Like you said, entertainment capital of the world, and sports is just going to be the next big thing here.
You know, you said you wish you would have had it here, but you are getting to be a part of it in some way. For select Ignite games, you're calling on the radio, you're being a color commentator. You got to do it this last weekend. What was the experience like for you?
It was fun. It was different, different from like being in the arena. That's the first time I've been in the arena since playing or whatever. So just different, hearing the ball bouncing, hearing the fans cheering, the intros, all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely fun to get out there and try something new, and hopefully I'll get better at it and do good at it.
Let's break this down. So you actually played at Bishop Gorman High School here, then you played 4 years at Tennessee. But if you had this option back in the day, You're coming out of Gorman, and there was, let's just say,
Yeah.
Ignite here in Henderson. Would you have taken that option? Would you have gone down that path? And how do you think that would have changed up your career?
I definitely think it would have been an option. Definitely my parents probably would have tried to get me to stay home. But I was just a kid. Since UNLV didn't recruit me, no offense to UNLV, but I definitely wanted to get out and just see the world. So I definitely think it would definitely been an option for me, and definitely probably been helping me develop as a basketball player.
Now, you played with the likes of LeBron, Kobe. You know what it takes to play in the NBA and have a long-standing career.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for these NBA G League Ignite players?
Just taking it one game at a time. It's all about developing. Obviously, this is a very young team. A lot of freshmen that would be in college right now. So just got to continue to develop. Listen to Coach Hart. He's an NBA player, also a former NBA player. So he knows what he's talking about, and he knows he wants to help these guys grow.
I love it. CJ, thanks so much for being here, man. We appreciate you being here. And you got to make sure you also go to quietstormfoundation.org to learn all about the positive impact CJ is having on our local community, a true Vegas-born, raised guy. We appreciate you being here,
Appreciate it. Thank
man.
you.
All right, next up, Gianna, the NBA G League is gearing up to debut its second season of The Brink.
This is the immersive series that gives you a look inside the life of 3 NBA G League stars, including Ignite's very own Matas Buzelis. Take a look.
Can you hear that? It's the sweet sound of another G League season. This year's NBA features a record high 50% of all players with G League experience. Today's G League, tomorrow's NBA. In Season 2 of The Break, we'll feature 3 unique stories. Ignite phenom Matas Buzelis, NBA champion Juan Toscano-Anderson, and Portland's Poole Jetta. Tune in every month to the G League season for a new episode of The Break.
Episode 1 of The Break debuts November 22nd. Be sure to keep an eye out for it on the NBA G League YouTube channel. And after the shot break, we got Thunder rumblings coming up, some new and exciting draft shot projections. Can 3 Ignite players go in the top 10? You don't want to miss this.
Welcome back to Ignite Takeover. The excitement surrounding Ignite and these future stars of the NBA is just starting to build. And just this past week, ESPN's NBA draft analyst Jonathan Givony revealed his top 100 prospect rankings for the 2024 NBA draft. And Gianna, get this. So Givony had Ron Holland ranked number 1. We all know that. Matas Buzelis ranked number 6 and Ethan Almanza at number 9. So tell me, what's the likelihood, Gianna, this plays out like this in the NBA draft?
You know, it's so hard to tell. We're so early on. To make those type of predictions, you know, I'm not the one to do that. But I will say, Ron Holland has been the guy that people have projected as the top pick time and time again so far. So I think the likelihood of him going at least 1-2 is a shoo-in at this point.
And quick question for you there. So after these 3 games, the scouts, the GMs, the presidents, who are always, you know, in the stands, they're watching these games, they're at practice. When they see Ron's display from those first 3 games, what do you think's going through their head?
You know, I think they're seeing him ease himself in. We saw him at Fall Invitational, and he was a high-level scoring option then. He's backed off a tad bit here, but, you know, Ignite is missing 6 players. They're not very deep. So they're going through a lot of transition. Ron Holland, if you're going to be a number 1 pick, you got to show out. But he's making himself known in other areas right now. So he's gathering himself. That's what we're seeing, him trying to learn and develop, which is what Ignite is all about.
Okay, now there are a lot of guys, like you said, missing. London Johnson, Modest, Dink Pate, Eric Mika. So there's a lot of guys that haven't been playing, but you at home might be thinking, okay, how can this team with 3 guys that are projected to go in the top 10 in the upcoming NBA draft, how can they be winless at 0-3? So Gianna, I think you can provide some much needed insight for everybody at home. The struggles of a young team like this and the way that Ignite is constructed to not only be a team that's trying to win, but also trying to develop. how weird is this for a team to be winless at 0-3 with this level of talent?
I think because this roster was touted as the most talented roster ever constructed for Ignite, you know, there obviously is going to be a lot of expectations, but we have to be realistic. These players would have been 19-year-olds in college.
Right.
They would have been developing for 4 years or at least a year in college. They don't have that, and they're going up against real professional talent. We talked about in that game against the Salt Lake City Stars, you have three top 10 draft picks on that team. You have a two-way player on the team. You're basically facing an NBA team or talent level team in that night. So it's a lot to change to. Not only that, the G League is much faster than any league you will see in the world. And players that come from overseas will tell you that. Even players that are coming down from the NBA going to the G League tell you that. They say the G League is just run and gun. It's so fast. So that has to deal with, are you in shape? Your basketball IQ, do you know where to go in defensive sets? I mean, there's so much that goes into it that these young players are just getting used to. So everyone, if you're a little concerned, like, just calm it down a little bit, because they're finding their footing on a team that has a lack of depth right now with all the injuries. Eric Mika is such a big piece for this team, and he's out. London Johnson, he's a big piece as a returning point guard. You have David Stockton, who's been in this league for a very long time, and he holds one of the assist titles in our league, but he can't do it all himself. So let's give him some grace.
All right, we'll give him a little bit of grace. And, you know, I think in anything, in any field, you start getting that confidence that, okay, we're here, we arrived, and we can make this happen. You know, even guys like Scoot, he wasn't, you know, averaging 30 points a game. He was averaging like 14 to 15 a game. So you've been around this league for a long time. When does that confidence start to settle in? Because I think that's the biggest thing I noticed from being at the game on Friday night was, you know, these guys, they're still settling in. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of time that they just need to feel things out. When does that start to settle in for these top young guns?
You know, in the first like 15, 16 games, it's the Winter Showcase Cup play, and that's when teams are easing in, figuring themselves out. And, you know, that's after Showcase Cup play. That's when they'll figure things out, I think, and you'll see them to be more comfortable.
Okay, there we go. That's what we need.
Now it's time to get a closer look to the game we love. In this edition of Inside the Pro Lab, we're hearing from the leader of Ignite, Coach Jason Hart. Take a look.
Go on the inside, Tyler, the inside, there you go. Good pass, Tyler, good pass. Inside, John, there you go. Good, Baba.
Well, it's early right now, so just wanted to get these guys a base and kind of teach them the NBA waltz. And that's just like, you know, basic spacing, pass, cut, move without the ball, just so they have a foundation. Because our real practice don't start till October.
You know, he coaches from the heart, you know, and it's kind of, you know, like I said, he's a former player, so like sometimes he'll get on you, sometimes he, you know, he'll tell you to do something, but it's coming all from his heart because I feel like, you know, he just wants the best out of you.
I just think his personality and the way he can just relate to the young guys as well as the vets is perfect for what we need. He brings great energy every day in practice. He just knows how to connect with people. He's an outstanding coach with great X's and O's. I tell everybody that I talk to, there couldn't have been a better guy for the job. He just understands what to do in every situation he's in.
My coaching philosophy is to bring energy and promote confidence. I think a lot of times being a coach, you're gonna always find everything that's wrong. And so I wanna coach from a different, you know, spectrum. I wanna be a positive giver. I wanna scream positive and whisper negative. And so I wanna give energy to practice, make sure these guys is ultra confident all the time, and just be a confidence booster.
That's a steal. He think it's sweet.
Coach Hart's role is unique because he's more than just a coach. Because the guys are so young, you know, he has to play the role of big brother at times. He has to play the role of dad sometimes. He has to play the role of coach. So it's very unique, and I think he's been doing a great job at it.
It's very important. All right. Good work there, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, go. Go, Nick.
I don't know how to read. We ain't got all day. Stand here. We ain't got all day.
Yeah, I really don't put me on the spot. Let me read it first.
Y'all can't get mad at me. It's my first time.
Quote of the day. All right? Okay. We all have dreams. Ain't that right? We all have dreams.
But in order for your dream to become reality,
The opportunity to lead this new group means a high level of responsibility and dedicated to allowing these young men's dreams to come true. So we take it very serious.
we all have dreams. But in order for your dreams to become a reality, you need dedication, discipline, and determination. Jesse Owens. Damn! What's wrong with y'all?
Coach Hart looks like a big-time leader there, but my man, Pargo, he looks like he's got the makings of a true leader as well. It's all that NBA experience these young guys need. All right, 3 future top NBA picks right here in your hood. Well, we're telling you how you can see them up close.
We're taking a look at the Ignite schedule with you next. Plus, our guys are making strides in the community in a big way. We take you to Ignite Fan Fest. That's after the break. This was the scene at the 2023 G League Ignite Fan Fest at the Dollar Loan Center. Fans had the chance to meet the players, take pictures, and get a behind-the-scenes look at this year's squad during an open practice. The Shock Squad, the Ignite dance team, was also there hanging out with fans. There was also a bunch of prizes and giveaways, as well as a great time at the Dollar Loan Center as the Ignite got a chance to interact and engage with the community here in Southern Nevada.
Yeah. Fan Fest was fun. Now take out that iPhone calendar and make some plans, because you can actually buy single game tickets right now at ignite.gleague.nba.com. But right now it's time for Stormwatch. So Gianna, let's take a look at this upcoming Ignite schedule. The team faces off against the Santa Cruz Warriors for a 2-game set starting on Friday. Then they're back at the DLC on Sunday. What challenges do you see in this upcoming matchup?
Well, the Warriors play like their parent club, which means they're going to play fast. So Ignite's going to have to play some defense.
All right. Definitely got to play some defense there. Now, you can watch the game on Sunday against the Warriors on our sister station. That's the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. That game is Sunday at 2 p.m. Again, on Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network 5.2 and Cox Cable Channel 125.
Thanks for watching Fox 5 News. Watch us live wherever you are, on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.